you may notice that there's other forms of IV ozone therapy. So why would we utilize different forms of IV ozone therapy, you may be asking? So what our recommendation is utilizing a major autoheme therapy, which is 200 cc's of blood. You know, roughly within that range, sometimes 150, sometimes 250, but approximately 200 mLs or cc's of blood. Another form of ozone therapy is going to be called EBOO. It's extracorporeal blood oxygenation ozonation, and that's a much longer process. And then there's also going to be a 10-pass. A lot of people hear about 10-pass, especially in the Lyme community, and that's pretty harsh on the body. Now, why is it that we don't necessarily recommend those? And they could be recommended. I would definitely talk with your provider. But the reason why we stick with the major autoheme therapy of 200 mLs of blood with 200 mLs of ozone is because it is the most highly researched. With the stack of research that actually shows the efficacy of that specific dosage and utilization. There is research on the other forms, but it's a fraction of the research. And so what we're trying to implement and to create a standard of is what is the research showing and how is that the most efficacious to the person that's actually getting the IV ozone therapy. So not to say that utilizing the 10-pass or even EBOO are not going to give you benefit, because there are some instances where that is what's needed. And again, you want to discuss that with your provider, but you want to go to a provider that's actually going to be utilizing the gold standard, which is that 200 cc's or 200 mLs of blood to 200 cc's of ozone. And the reason for that, and the reason it's the gold standard, is because it is the most research. We're trying to implement and help you get to a provider that is actually going to give you what that gold standard is, that gives the most research, that actually shows the most efficacious results for a multitude of different conditions and therapies.